Okay, guys, want to welcome everybody here this evening. This is our truly global partners training session. As you know, myself and Derek, and we then have different people to come on and share their knowledge and their techniques and strategies on a weekly basis. So it's great to have everybody here. I appreciate the fact that everybody's coming here this evening, especially the fact that I suppose you could really call it Christmas week or pre-Christmas week, you know. So we're actually up at the 16th of December already, so not too long to go now for the big day, and I hope people are looking forward to spend time with family and loved ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick introduction for Derek. So as you know, a lot of you are connected with Derek, and Derek is been in and around the industry for 30 plus years. He's connected to quite a few influencers and public speakers and public figures within the industry. A few people names I won't mention at the minute. I'll let Derek mention some of those guys as we will introduce you to a few of those guys as we move forward. Derek has been in and around the industry. He's been involved in traditional business with restaurants and been a full-time chef. Had great success with that, had amazing success in within the networking and crypto arena for this past 10, 15 years, and he's been involved in it for 30 years. So he's got a mountain of knowledge, and we are here to share our skill set with you guys because it's all about helping the community move forward. So, Derek, it's great to have you here, and I'll pass it over and back to you.
Thank you, Coleman. Okay, just to let you know, the picture there, it's a truly training, so I thought I must include the water. So it's your can of drink poured into a glass of water with some lovely fresh juice and fresh fruit, sorry, and some ice. Okay. Right, I nearly didn't have this because of Christmas. I've been hearing that a lot. People have been saying to me, "Oh no, I can't do it till after Christmas." So I nearly stopped this because of that. And procrastination is exactly that. It's actually not going ahead with something because you've got an excuse, okay? And the excuses don't really matter as such because it's not allowing you to achieve the goals you set for yourself. And we all come up with more excuses, especially towards Christmas. And for that reason, in fact, and this is real, by the way, this is not procrastination. We decided that'd be a good time to actually say this will be the last training before the 6th of January. That'll be the next training. We're going to let you all have a good break away to your family things and everything else. Because we know, I mean, I've been talking to a lot of people and they've been saying, oh, yeah, it's after Christmas. I'll do this and I'll do that and I'll do this. So, yeah, that's the main reason, really. So hopefully we'll be ready to go with our new year and into next year. There's a lot of good stuff happening in the background anyway, and I think we'll come to a better website and all kinds of things with Truly as we go forward. So yeah, so procrastination, if I've really used this word in the right sense of the word anyway, is probably one of the biggest thieves of achieving a worthy and worthwhile goal. It doesn't necessarily mean success. It could be a goal that you're going for. It could be a weight loss. It could be a health thing. It could be just something that wants you really, really want. And because of procrastination, sometimes we don't get it. It could be excuses. It could be being lazy. In my case, a while ago, several years ago, I was about 1.5 stone heavier than I am now. And I just felt so lethargic, I couldn't do anything. And I blamed it on my weight. I actually said, "Oh, no, I can't. I have weight issues, and I can't get up. I have to stay on the settee. I feel uncomfortable. My bones hurt. My back hurts. So I might as well just sit there and do nothing instead of doing something." So I had to, start working on myself to actually get out of this, and that was what was important. So I hope what we discover today is why we procrastinate, and what defines us as people, if you like. Everyone's different, so you may find different things within this presentation that affect you, and some of the things you do or don't do. Everyone has some procrastination on something. This isn't specific to people talking to people or arranging meetings or follow-ups or whatever. It's just general. So, what defines us? If we look at ourselves early years, that means birth to this day. Well, our culture is a big one. What culture we're born into, what family values, behaviors, interactions, constructs and understanding that are learned by socialization. Different people from different ethnic backgrounds learn different ways, and that also teaches us certain things, and we follow certain guidelines on that. Example of some limiting beliefs we have is I'm not good enough. There's never enough time. Some people actually say I'm a procrastinator. I'm going to end up alone. I don't know what I want. People can't be trusted. I'm too old. I'm too young. It's too late for me. That's a big one. I'm too afraid of, and it could be whatever you're afraid of. I feel very behind in life. I'm going through difficult times. I'm too broke and struggling. So these are some examples of the common limiting beliefs, and it's only ourselves that actually stops us doing this, really. It's not anybody else. So what happens is we have a belief system, and then we repeat it, and the more we repeat it, the more it becomes part of our identity. And there are some people that say I can't to a lot of things. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do this. I remember myself, when I first started in this industry, I couldn't talk to people very readily. I actually was in hotel management, and I found it very difficult to, for example, handle complaints. That was something that really, really was horrible, and I used to send other people instead of myself. So being a manager in a restaurant, for example, I could send my deputy manager, or I could send one of the senior staff to the customer to find out what the problem was and deal with it. I found it very, very difficult. Why? Because I just didn't like the idea of arguing with somebody. That wasn't in my nature. But then I learned from various mentors along the way, it's not about arguing. It's about coming from a place of understanding, coming from a place of empathy, and really getting to know why the person feels the way they do. And having achieved that, then also finding out what they would like to have done so they feel happy with the end result. And then I found it was very, very easy to do. Once I started doing that more and more, I never had big arguments and blowouts. The only reason I assumed that handling complaints was a big argument and blow up was because I saw other people do it, and it was very aggressive. And again, that's a learning pattern. We sort of believe that, and we see it repeated around us, and then we think that's the way it's got to be, and it isn't. So sometimes you have to think outside the box, think a bit differently, think, from another person's perspective, if you like. So the definition, a set of ideas. This is about the belief systems, a set of ideas, principles, or values that shape how individuals or groups understand the world and make decisions and make sense of life. And the main purpose for what we're doing today is provides meaning and purpose in life, influences behavior, thoughts, and interactions. We're going to cover also offers a framework for interpreting experiences. One of the things that has a major effect on people is their religion: Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, for example. Those are just some. Philosophical could be Stoicism, humanism. Cultural, people. Some people are brought up with the hard work leads to success. But I found that it's not just hard work. You've got to work smart. You've got to work with other things in mind. Just working hard doesn't bring you success necessarily. So our belief system has created this reality called your life, and that's where you are today because of your belief systems. Which means if you want to create a new life, you must learn how to let go of all the limiting beliefs that hold you back from everything you want, because that's all it is. Once you let go of some of these belief systems, then you're a lot freer to do the things you need to do to get to where you want to get to. Okay, so beliefs and thoughts become feelings and actions and then results. So again, look at it from that point of view. Your beliefs, then your beliefs become thoughts, and then feelings, and those feelings decide what your actions are going to be, and that your actions lead to results. Okay, so to diagnose our symptoms is one of the things that we want to do. So, for example, lack of money is never, ever, ever a problem. It's a lack of money is merely a symptom of what is going on underneath. So when you think about it, it's not that you haven't got money. What it is that you have a symptom of what's going underneath that's not allowing you to get the money, if it's money you're looking for. So what we have to do is we have to consciously think about attracting what we want. Your conscious and subconscious beliefs around money determine how you act, and how you act will ultimately result in what you attract. Okay, where is your mindset today? You know, is it times are tough? I've got to play it safe. Scared to take massive action. Procrastination again, which is there. Struggling to make ends meet. All these are things that are limiting beliefs, and these are things that lead you to what your mindset is today and where it is. Okay, so belief systems. Okay, so we create our own reality. We create our own belief system. If you look at this, yourself is in the middle. Your family have influence over you. Your friends have influence on you. Your culture has influence, and events around you have influence on you too. But we can actually create our own selves. We don't have to take in the influences of any of these events, culture, friends, or family. Sometimes we do that, and unknowingly we actually really stop ourselves doing anything. We sabotage ourselves, and sometimes we know we're sabotaging ourselves. We expect the result we have because we know where it's going and where it's coming from. So we have to go to abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is where default is to suspicion, hard to build rapport with other people. I can't do it. I can't afford it. I don't have the time. And hold on to things. A lot of people who are in the scarcity mindset are always looking back instead of looking forward. So they're always holding on to those things and not letting go of some of those things that have affected them in the past, which then doesn't allow them to move forward. And the reverse or the opposite is, defaults to rapport and builds trust easily. A person who's abundant also how can I do it? Not I can't do it, but how can I do it? How can I find the money? How can I find the time? Many a time there's been when I've been in different opportunities with people, and I've looked at different people in the opportunity, and some people say, oh no, that's far too much for me, I can't afford that. And then I look at somebody else and they're actually completely at the other end of the spectrum. They're completely in debt and they're actually struggling. And for some reason, some of those people have actually managed to find the funds to come into something that they believe in. So when there's a will, there is a way. And sometimes people just don't understand that. And it's hard to actually say it. But I know many a time when I've come into opportunities in the past, when I had maybe one opportunity at the time in the past, I used to actually struggle to actually get into it in the first place because I came from a scarcity mindset, and I didn't look at it with how can I find the money. But out of all the opportunities that I've ever had thrown in front of me, I'd say about 60 to 70% of the time, in spite of other people saying they were struggling, I got involved and found there were other people around me who are far better off than me but didn't get involved. And it's not because they had the money, it's because again their mindset didn't allow them to move forward with it. So you have to be comfortable with letting go of the past, letting go of your inhibitions, letting go of your ideologies, if you like. Sometimes your religion can have an effect on you, your culture, and unfortunately, those things stop us moving forward. If it's moving forward that you want, then you really need to let go of some of those things because they're not actually having a positive effect on you. So the word circulating is what I want to talk about, how we circulate, and it's a better word and a much more accurate, as we are exchanging energy and keeping the whole dance going. So the idea is actually energy is something that we can share with each other. And when you give positive energy, you get positive energy back. So I'm going to talk about that now. Enjoy the process of circulating. When you actually enjoy the process of circulating, then things come to you even when you haven't got anything, because you're giving. You're in a giving way of life, if you like. Enjoying the process of circular abundance mindset is the belief that there is more than enough to go around, which there is if we think about it. If the whole world shared all the wealth that was there, there wouldn't be any hungry people in this world. And that life offers endless opportunities for growth and success when tied to the idea of circulation. It encourages people to give freely without any fear, enjoying the process of they come in all sorts of forms. So, for example, we should be looking at receiving with gratitude. So give thanks. I often do that every morning. There's at one time I wondered what was the reason for this. It's getting your own mind. It's not about praying to somebody out there or something out there. It's getting your own mind to actually be thankful for what you have, and also what you've received. So you embrace the flow, focus on the journey is another thing which is really, really important. So this creates a cycle of trust and growth. This is why it matters. The shifts focus from scarcity to gratitude and opportunity, and it cultivates a joy of fulfillment in both personal and professional life. And you see the figure of the eight there, the infinity line, and this is endless. If you actually get onto that race course or that circle, if you like, it's amazing how things actually start evolving for you, how things change. I noticed in the latter part of my journeys, and I still haven't arrived. I wouldn't say I have arrived by any sense of the mean. Things come quite easily to me. I find them coming easier to me because I've let go, and there's the letting go that's allowed me to actually move forward with other things and in a much easier way. For example, let me say, there's an event that came recently, the Minogue event in Luton, and there's quite a lot of people that found it very, very difficult to get there for various reasons. But a lot of people made it. Okay, some people wanted to come but didn't come because they had various excuses, etc. Didn't think it was important enough, maybe, or they just didn't have the goal solid enough in their own minds to allow them to go. And for me, for example, it was going to be quite a journey. I had not driven that much for a very long time because of my health, and driving for that long was quite scary. But I did it in spite of that. And I think sometimes we have to look at things and say, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? And if it's not something that's going to be detrimental to your life, then maybe we should just push ahead and move forward with it. So these are some of the things that I talk about: enjoying the process of circulating, donating money or time without fear or lack of it, sharing knowledge to uplift others, trusting the opportunity and success will flow back to you. So, enjoying the process, circulating abundance mindset is important. Volunteering skill, offering your expertise to help a community project or a friend in need without expecting immediate returns. This is something I discovered during my catering career when I was a chef. When I gave everything to the food I prepared with love without expecting returns, it's amazing how many people actually started sending messages with the waitresses back to the kitchen saying, "Oh, that was the best meal I've ever had. I love that. The food was fantastic." Some people asked me to come out into the restaurant to speak to them. We don't realize the power of our energy. And I shared that in the kitchen all the time. I said, "You've got to cook this food with love." And in fact, I proved it once to somebody, and one of the chefs, and he was cooking a steak, and he thought it was okay, but he was getting angry all the time at the steak for some reason. But anyway, went out there, came back, and it was half eaten, and the customer had complained that it wasn't right, and he got even angrier, and he went and tried to stamp his foot on the ground, and I can't really remember what exactly happened, but he ended up on his butt. He landed on the floor. So sometimes, when when you give bad vibes out there, it comes back to kick you in the butt. And I said that to him, and I proved to him that, you know, cooking in a loving, giving way will always bring good back to you. And we actually did that, and he was amazed at the results. Okay. So supporting a local business, choosing to shop or eat at small local businesses, contributing to their growth while trusting in a cycle of mutual support. All these things are quite random, but the thing is, they are things that you need to think about in your when you go in your daily lives, you know, to help others. You know, random acts of kindness, for example. You know, this happens a lot. Paying for someone's coffee, leaving quite a few of the cafes in our town. They have little notice boards where you can pay for a coffee, an extra coffee, and put a little receipt on the board, and somebody can come along who can't actually afford a cup of coffee, and they come along, and it just offers a person an extra helping hand. Mentorship's another thing. Someone is their personal or professional development. Knowing your support creates a positive ripple effect. Okay, that's important. Reinvesting profits, using a proportion of your earnings to create new opportunities, whether for yourself, your team, and or your community. Collaborating freely, partnering with others or projects, or sharing ideas without fear of somebody taking your opportunity. You know, sometimes we're frightened of collaborating because we think there's going to be competition. But the thing is, if you're truly coming from a place of giving and sharing and caring, then that won't happen. It just doesn't. You know, celebrating other success, I don't think that goes on enough sometimes. You know, when other people succeed, congratulating and supporting peers or colleagues when they achieve something, knowing their success doesn't diminish your own. And then we have sustainable living choices, circulating resources back into the environment through recycling, composting, and supporting eco-friendly initiatives. All these are giving things that don't necessarily require any return to yourself. And the thing is, by doing this and being in that mindset, you're also creating a different type of you, if you like. You're making a better version of yourself by doing this. Offering emotional support, actively listening to someone who's struggling, giving them time and empathy without expecting anything in return. Also hosting gatherings. I mean, I used to do that quite a lot actually, because I do like cooking. Sharing meals or creating experiences with friends and family, knowing the joy and the connection will be returned in other ways. And it's amazing how it does. It's networking at its best, if you like. Networking isn't just going to a business meeting and talking to people. Networking could be anywhere. It could be in your family lives, it could be in your friends' lives, it can be your church. That's networking. And then sharing the ideas from that with you, everyone else. So, you know, you then start making connections, and then you sort of say, somebody asks you something, and you say, "Oh yes, I know somebody who could help you with this, and I know somebody who could help you with that," and you begin to become a connector, and people trust you more, and they want to be part of what you've got. Okay, so poor mindset is where this stands for passing over opportunities repeatedly. And this is what happens when you've got a poor mindset. You actually literally pass over lots, and you sort of say to, "Oh, I wish I'd done that. I saw all those people succeeding. I wish I'd done that. I wish I'd done that." And you know, you end up passing over these opportunities repeatedly, and that's a poor mindset. When opportunities knock on your door, always be willing to take a chance, because you never know how perfect something could turn out to be. Yes, of course, there are things that you're going to perhaps lose out, and we have to try and use our gut feeling, our emotions, everything else we've learned, our understanding of people to discern whether something's going to be good or not. I tend to try and follow the people I know, and if they've had previous success, I'll follow them because of that. I won't go into opportunities that are given to me blindly by somebody I don't know, because I think that tends to lead into things that they haven't looked into, who the company is or the people or anything like that. So it's important who you follow. So playing it small carries a huge price tag. You have a limited amount of time on this earth, so why not make the most of the time you've got by playing it big? The longer you live a safe life, the more your goals, potential, and any sense that your life has meaning always fades away and eventually seems beyond reach. Reprogram your mind. Okay, on May the 6th, 1954, Roger Bannister became the first person to run a sub 4 minute mile. Nobody realized that you could do a 4 minute mile, okay? And that was the first person. After that, lots and lots of people achieved that because they all had limiting mindsets. They all thought 4 minutes can't be done, can't be done, can't be done. And none of them did. And then one after the other, after you did it, they all started breaking the 4 minute mile. It's amazing how one person decides for everyone else where the whole thing should go. So be the change yourself, you know. But most of us have devoted our entire life to meeting its constant demands, as we mistakenly thinks it's protected us from pain. So listen to that. Most of us have devoted our entire life to meeting its constant demands, as we mistakenly think it's protected us from pain. And yet there is pain when we don't achieve what we want to achieve, when we don't get what we want to get. So again, it's important to think it should be obvious that no one keeps you imprisoned, and that's important to understand as well, other than ourselves. You know, we choose to break out of our own mind. It is your choice whether or not you want to stay put. It's your choice whether you want to not do anything. We're not here, and I'm not here, and neither should we be people here to try and force you to do anything against your will. We're here to help you. And think about this from the point of view of a network marketing company. It's always in the interest of your upline to build a better you and a better business for you. But it's your choice whether you take that advice or not. And don't blame your upline for you having no business. Many a time I've built a business in spite of my upline. I don't look to see who my upline is and say, okay, I'm under this person, I'm not going to do very much, I'm going to let them do all the work. I go ahead and build my business anyway, regardless. And it's important to think like that. You know, we all have our own mindsets, we all have our own choices, we all choose where we are. And where we are today is a direct result of all the choices and decisions we've made throughout our lives. The moment you actually begin to do something that can change your life, you'll hear your little voice judging and feeling skeptical again. Remember, you know, you go into something that sounds a bit scary, you think, oh no, what am I going to do? And that little voice pulls you away. And it's always that stops you doing things. You know, it could be even making a call. Oh no, you know, I think a number of reasons why I didn't do follow-ups, okay, is because I hated calling people up. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And the reason why is because I didn't like rejection. And then I was told one day by a mentor of mine, well, you don't have to have any rejection. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, there's only these answers. And if you listen to it, he says, you know, there's only yes, I want to get involved straight away. Please give me more information. Or he said, settle for not now. And how you do that is say, okay, if somebody says, oh, look, listen, I've got this going on, I've got that on. Nobody actually flatly says no unless they're really, you know, not wanting to do. But even if they do say no, what you say, listen, John, I know you're saying no, not now. If in 6 months I'm still doing what I'm doing, would you mind if I actually contacted you to let you know how I'm going? Nobody ever says no to that. I haven't come across anybody saying no to that. So you've got somebody to go back to. And, you know, if you're doing that much better than you were the first time, you know, you're in a fantastic place to actually share that with them. You don't know what John's situation is going to be like. You know, they may have changed. They may be in a situation where they're not doing as well as they'd like to. I've had that happen so many times. And people have come back to me in the past as well, who said no at one stage and then came back. So don't ever think you're being rejected, because it's never personal. I think you all know the story about the waitress who goes into a restaurant and she sees some people sitting down. She goes off and she serves tea or coffee. So she asks them, you know, tea or coffee, and she actually wanted to serve tea, but they all said coffee. She doesn't go running back into the kitchen crying because they didn't have, you know, the tea. She'll just serve them the coffee. She won't take it personally. They're not saying no to her. They're saying no to having tea. They want coffee, you know, and it's important to understand it from that point of view. When somebody says no, they don't actually say no anyway. There's lots of ways they say it. Oh no, I don't think it's good for me at the moment. I've got too many things piled up on my plate, etc. I can't see that. But what do? A lot of us, we take it personally. and we think it's us that they're saying no to. It's nothing to do with us. It's actually to do with where they are in their lives, to do with their mindset, to do with everything that's going on in them. So you always have a choice, and that's the important thing. You know, in life, everyone has a choice. Whether you choose to do truly or not is up to you. Whether you choose to make a success of it is up to you. You know, you have a choice. You choose. You know, we don't hold you, we don't imprison you, we don't stop you. We encourage you and we try and help you. And with this team that we've got, we are actually very proactively trying to help people, you know, make choices that will do better for them. What Coleman's doing with the Facebook group is awesome, because think about this, right? We're actually physically getting people on into that group, and we're actually showing them, holding their hands and physically showing them in a workshop how to do it. So let's say, for example, today we go, Paulette, okay, get on your Facebook, Paulette, try this. And then we show her what to do. We give her the words, we give her the sentence, and we do that over a period of time. She gets results. Guess what? Paulette's going to be very happy because she's got somebody who actually responded to her, because we're using methods that are tried and tested. Now, having done that, she's going to show her people what to do. So it's just going to snowball from there. So we're only showing people what works, not what doesn't work. We don't do theory. We're trying to do this because we've already done it before. So what's your path? Every choice you make will put you on a path. So before you make a choice, consider the path your choice will put you on. Again, think about your future, where you want to be, what you want to have, you know, what's important to you, and, you know, and how you want to get there. And then get the people around you. They always say, get the people who you think will help you get there. If they're on that same journey, then it's probably the right way to go, especially if they're willing to help you become better at what you're doing to get to where they want, and also help you get what you want. So the whole thing about this is this is called the awareness triangle. So it's awareness, reprogram, transform. So the secret really is to create a radical shift in your life. Stop focusing so much on what you want to achieve or do or have, and focus instead on becoming deeply aware of your belief system. Go through that in detail. Write down your belief system, what you think your belief system is, and eliminate all the unconscious limiting beliefs that's holding you back right now. And then number two, you can't get to abundance. You must come from it. So in other words, you know, they always say, fake it till you make it, but I don't like that term. I actually like the term of actually coming from a place where you believe that you truly deserve what you're getting. And by believing that truly, you actually get more comfortable with letting go of the past and more open into going into it. It's like, imagine a rope is holding you and the rope's holding you back, and that rope could be fear. And then you just cut that rope, fear's gone. Now you're able to do anything, you know, and that's what, imagine what that could do with you. It doesn't matter what that fear is, you know, fear of talking to people, fear of calling people. All those things can be done in a snap decision. Just cut that rope, let it go, and the opportunities come flowing to you. So your survival brain is very slick. It will tell you anything it has to do, and create any story to prevent you from experiencing changes. So to change, and again, going back to survival, the reason why is because as cavemen, etc., it was all about survival. It was about survive and eat. So you hunt, you eat, you survive. You hunt, you eat, you survive. Survive, you're trying to protect yourself from, you know, the lions and the tigers and everything else out there, all the other dangers. Whereas now it's so much easier for us. It's a different type of world. So to change your life today, you must allow yourself to make a new decision that honors your potential. And you know what your potential is. Most of us don't realize our potential because we don't believe we have a potential. So I hope you've learned a few things about procrastination today. That was the idea. So we're here to help, obviously, and that's why we're here. We don't get paid to do this. Common doesn't get paid. He volunteers his own time to do this. We're not helping people necessarily in our businesses. We've added other people. Other people have come into our meetings who are not even in our team. So it's important for you to understand we do this willingly, because we want to help other people, everyone succeed, not just ourselves or just our team. Will help anyone, and in turn that will help us move on and do it now. Don't procrastinate. A lot of us are using Christmas and New Year as an excuse not to do things. But even let's say over Christmas and New Year, you made one call, two calls, two messages. Okay, I had a follow-up to do with somebody. Do it. And then you've done it. I'm not saying you have to push the boat out so you actually stop doing all the family things that you do, but do something that'll make you feel proud of yourself. And that's the most important thing, being proud of yourself. So thank you very much. And let's have a quick Q&A. Anybody out there who wants to actually say anything or add something? Coleman, start with you.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. You've just kind of like relearn some of the stuff that we kind of developed over the years, whether it be part of webinars and seminars and stuff like that. So you've really kind of brought a lot of that stuff back into my uh, memory bank again, and back where I need to revisit it, and I need to kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Study it again and be aware of it.
What would you say your biggest takeaway from that was then for yourself?
Well, I'm the type of person, like, whether I've got this little guy up on my shoulder telling me you can't do this and you can't do that, I'll do it anyway. I just, whether he's telling me I can't do it, I'll prove him wrong. So I think the biggest thing there is people understand that they need to have gratitude. Gratitude and being grateful for the things that we have already, because I think sometimes we can get bogged down in whether it's financial problems, whether it's health, whether it's life in general, that we can forget about all the things we should be grateful for, and being able to help other people be grateful for stuff, I think, is a big thing.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Paul, do you want to make any comments?
Yeah, as you were going through the slides, there were too many occasions that I said, "That's me. That's me. That's me. That's me." And the weird, what's weird, and well, I think for newer people, they think that people like us that have been in the industry a long time. I mean, I've been in it since 1980 for most of it, on and off. They think that we've gone through all this and we don't suffer with it anymore. And it's not the case. It's like any job, business, that sort of thing. You go through it, you learn, you go through the learning stage, you get good at it, you get complacent, you have a break, and you've really got to start over again. People say, "Oh, just jump in where you took off." You think, "Oh, it's been a while," and you realize that it's procrastination.
Yeah.
There's a little saying that kind of gets me off the hook, because people will always remember what I used to do. They go, "Oh, yeah, you were great when you were doing this and this," and I always have a little saying that kind of gets me off the hook, and it's, "I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was." So hopefully, if I could just get my mojo back, and I think everyone's in that kind of boat. And we need the reminders now and again, and my mentor was Jim Rohn, and there's a very true thing he always said: each of us need all of us, and all of us need each of us. And it really is, and it is like that. And I remember sitting with Jim and him saying to me, we're on about nutrition and looking after yourself. And he said, people really don't do that. And everyone says, "Oh, take care of yourself." And Jim always made a point of saying, "I'll take care of me for you if you take care of you for me, because I want to see you back here next year." And wow. And that kind of sort of stays with you, because, everyone wants us to do well, help them, be available. But unless we take care of ourselves, we're not going to be available. We're really not.
That's so true, and that's really, really good what you said there. We need each other.
Oh,
we
very
cannot
much
do it on our own. That's
Oh,
the thing.
no.
And because we need each other, we need other people to also start, talking a bit more, helping a bit more, making decisions a bit more. But it all helps in little amounts. You don't have to do as much as we do. Maybe you don't have to start presenting or anything like that.
No. But I remember
start doing something.
I remember once breaking it down. We went somewhere, and it was like a presentation, and something happened, and the presentation didn't go on, and we said, like, we're all here now. Let's just have a chat, and a sizzle session and do something. And it ended up being much better than the usual evening presentation in this hotel. Because I kind of said, well, when you look at these award shows and everyone's up there and you admire these actors, and I mean, they get to such a stage where you haven't even got to say their whole name. You just say Jack and you know who it is, and Meryl and stuff like that. You don't got to say their whole names, but they all play such an important role in what they do. And I said, but in what we do in network marketing, we get up on stage or we do our presentation, and it's like being at the theatre. Yes, we used to do like the old Herbalife days, Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday morning training. So Tuesday and Thursday night was like going to a theatre. I said, all of us need each of us, and we've got to play our part the best we can. So, I know you've told your testimonial 600 times, but we need it 601 because the new person hasn't heard it. And you're playing your role in that script. It's like putting on a show, really. And I said, but that show could help somebody else get a new partner on board. Definitely. And that new partner will play their role.
And and that's again why you sometimes hear repeated things often, but it's not always for your ears. You've got to think of it as for your people, for new people, for other people who've not heard what we've said. We may repeat this in a different way in a few months' time, and any other presentations, because it's got to be cyclical, because there are new people coming in all the time, and you've got to think about it. They could be your new people.
Yes, exactly.
And they may need something in there, and that's really, really important. Great. Okay, well, I think we're about to go on to
the other last thing, as it's the Christmas season, I from my 6-pack or my 7-pack, I deliberately kept a case of Glow to one side as a Christmas present because it's great in the box. My subscription of Glow arrived today. And I thought, good, mine's arrived. So therefore, the one I was saving, I can now give that as a Christmas present. and inwardly, I didn't want to give it away because it's mine. I think I want to drink that, but it would make
the more
a
you
good
give
Christmas
away, the
present.
more it comes back. That's
But
the thing.
but now I've got my own subscription arrived. But, oh, good, I can actually give that away now, and feel good about it. But that's going to be good.
No, that's good.
Great training, Derek. Thank you very much. It was well needed, I think.
Okay, good. It'll be on recording, obviously. Anyone else before we finish want to say anything? Because we'll be going into the new training.
Derek, what you said was quite poignant. A lot of the stuff you mentioned that I've had to deal with in the past myself, like coming from a place of lack, or of being part of religion where, like, striving for money or materialism was condemned. So all these things get set in your subconscious, and the blocks. I've had to deal with some of these issues myself, and reevaluate, my view of wealth and prosperity. And like you said, once you start letting go, it does make a difference. Things start coming to you. It's just the law of the universe, isn't it? It reflects back to you what your self-worth is and what you desire. So
no, so right. And it doesn't matter what religion you're in. I mean, look at Christ, for example. He gave all the time, and he got back immense amounts of love, and that love helped him get through all the hard days, through all the anguish, through everything else. A lot of strength from lots of people, and again, another community. If a community work together, it's amazing what they can achieve, really. Great. Okay, well, thank you very much, Nigel. So what we'll do now is we'll what do you want to do, Coleman? Go straight in or have a break and then come back at 1:30 for the training?
Yeah, I think what we'll do is maybe just take a short break to 1:30.
Okay, so go make a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, or get your can of Truly ready, and we'll come back into the same room at 1:30, and we'll do the training. And for anyone who hasn't been, you can join us as well and have a look. And the objective really is to join the Facebook group after this. So if you do like what you're hearing and you want to learn more, join the Facebook group, because a lot of the information will be privy to you once you're in the private group, as opposed to on here. You'll see what we're doing, but you might not necessarily get all the information that we're going to let people have about the different scripts and things like that. So that will be, because we're trying to get some form of commitment on people, but not only that, because we're willing to help those people use their social media in a proper way and then get results from it without actually you know, being called spammers or whatever. So, I mean, Coleman and I as well, we've developed different systems to do that, and we're going to show you how to do it. So thank you very much, everybody, and see you at past.
Great stuff. See you all in, guys.